Hey there, Grumpy Chuck. This is The Edge on Elevation TV, responding to your latest video question. First, let me say I really appreciate your thought-provoking questions and your willingness to engage the Christian community. I think that shows a lot of maturity on your part, and I think these questions come from a really deep-seated desire to actually know the answers. And Cajun Punk and I kind of disagreed in your comment section, so I guess I'll preface this by saying this is my opinion of the answer to your question, and it probably is a more popular opinion, though Cajun knows a lot of stuff, and he doesn't come up with his own opinions without research and merit, but this is more of a conventional answer, and take it for what it's worth. Your question was, are your children truly born into sin? Are they born sinful? Have they inherited sin? And that is a fairly accurate belief of ours. So I know that you know that. First, let's talk about what sin is. We're not claiming that your children are hellions. We're not claiming that they're destined to murder and pillage and be horrible human beings. And we're not even saying that they lack pureness and innocence. Unfortunately, though, they have been born into a fallen world. This is not the world that God wanted, but He loved us enough to give us free will, and in doing so, He had to give us free will to either choose Him and His way or us and our way. Now, our ancestors all the way up the line made that choice ultimately for us, but if you analyze yourself carefully, you probably would have made the same mistake, so we can't sit here and blame Adam and Eve all day long. Sin in its simplest form, as I define it, is using our free will to choose to do things our way rather than God's way. So that doesn't even necessarily mean that you have gone out and slaughtered a family or done something so irreprehensible. It means that you have not met with the holiness and perfection that God desires and asks of you. One of the examples I gave to you in my comments was that I have two beautiful twins. One's a boy, one's a girl, and they are just my life right now. As a father, it's hard to sit here and say that they were born into sin and that they're not perfect, because to me they are. However, if I'm to be honest with myself, especially now that they're two, it's the terrible twos, they throw tantrums. They disobey daddy. They take things from one another. They hit each other over the head, and they're still innocent. They're still pure. They're still sweet. They're still my perfect little babies. But they were born into an imperfect world, and if those things aren't outright sins, which I think some of them are, if they're disobeying me biblically, that's a sin. They will sin. And that's the thing. You and I, or whoever wants to, can argue that maybe there is a time from birth till a certain age in which a person is able to remain sinless. Certainly there's a time in which we're born till a certain time that we become aware that we're sinful. But that's two different things. So we inherited a fallen world. We, in turn, inherited a sin nature. And so my answer to your question is yes, that's our state, and it's not that we're trying to say that children are not innocent or pure. Hope that maybe helps a little bit on our perspective of things, or at least my perspective. I don't want to talk for everybody. So for now, this is The Edge signing off.